Hey guys, welcome to week 2 of algebra. Before I get started, I just want to make a couple quick, well, really one quick announcement. A couple of you last week have discussed with me that it's difficult to write the answers in the Google Docs provided, and so you asked if you could do the work on a separate sheet of paper. The answer is absolutely. You can do the work on a separate sheet of paper. Just make sure that you take a picture of your work and submit it through Google Classroom. So if you have your phone, it's pretty easy. You can just take a picture of your work. You can scan it as a document, which is even easier if you have an iPhone. In Notes, you can scan it as a PDF, and it'll come through really nicely. And then all you do is you save it and attach it to the Google Classroom. That is perfectly acceptable. Actually, it's quite preferred when we start to get into all these extra problems. So today what we're going to be looking at is order of operations. So order of operations, when we evaluate numerical expressions, a numerical expression often contains more than one operation. So you guys probably remember this by PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. PEMDAS. Whereas P is parentheses. X is exponents. Multiplication and division. So multiplication, which we remember as the X, but we don't use the multiplication sign anymore, and division. And from this one, it's left to right. So multiplication and division, just like addition and subtraction, are what we call commutative in the fact that we work these out in evaluations from left to right. So whichever one shows up first, that's the one we do. So that's the order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Anything with parentheses, we're going to evaluate the parentheses first. And then after that, then we deal with the exponents. Then we go multiplication or division, addition or subtraction. So we're just going to go in and do a couple example problems. I think you guys probably remember this. This should be review for you. So excuse me. So for this one, example, evaluate each expression. I just wanted to let you know that 3 to the 4th power, that means whenever you have a base to a power, you're multiplying that base by itself, however many times that power is. So in this case, our base is 3 and our power is 4. So we're going to multiply 3 by itself 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 times 3 is 81. So that's what we're doing. 6 to the 3rd power means 6 times 6 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36. 36 times 6 is 216. So if I were to put a third one on there, let's say 5 to the 3rd power. So 5 to the 3rd power. My base is 5, so I'm going to say 5 times. Notice for multiplication now, we're using these dots. All right? And that's because now that we're in algebra, we're in big boy and big girl math, we do things with variables. And one of the most common variables that we use is x. So if we're denoting multiplication by using an x, we're actually going to be a disservice to ourselves, and we're going to be very mixed up. So we start going by dots, but we could also say parentheses. So 5 times 5 times 5. That's 5 3 times. So 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. So let's do a couple problems together. So remember, what I like to do is I like to write my PEMDAS, just to remind me, PEMDAS. Up at the top of my worksheet, it helps me to remember my order of operations. So the first thing I notice, are there any parentheses? Well, these brackets are parentheses, and this is a parenthesis. So we actually have two sets of parentheses here. So we're going to work this out step by step here. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do 12 divided by 3, because that's inside parentheses within the parentheses. So I'm going to be left with 3 brackets 2 plus, and I'm going to put this in a different color. So 12 divided by 3 is my next thing, which becomes 4. And then I'm going to go back to blue, squared. So now I have my brackets still, but I took care of that small parenthesis. Now inside of it, I have 4 squared. That's my next one. I got rid of my P for parentheses, kinda. I still have parentheses inside, but now I'm working through my order of operations inside of this parentheses. So exponent, 4 squared would be next. So I'm going to get 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16. So then I got 3 brackets 2 plus 16. So that means that my next step is 2 plus 16, which is 18. So I got 3 brackets 18. But remember, I just told us that the brackets or parentheses, when there's nothing else separating them, the operation is multiplication. So 3 times 18 is 54. And so that would be my answer there. Now, I'm going to slide this guy over. Now, if you're looking at this is kind of confusing because we have a fraction. Well, fraction just means the top number divided by the bottom number. So we can look at these as if they have their own parentheses. The top has his own parentheses, and the bottom has their own parentheses. So when we're simplifying a fraction here, we're going to actually simplify the top and the bottom. So up on the top, I have 3 plus 2 cubed. Well, 2 cubed would be my first one that I'm doing because it's an exponent. So 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So I have 3 plus 8 on top. On bottom, and I'll do this in blue, I have 4 squared minus 3. So 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16, minus 3. So this equals 3 plus 8 is on top. 3 plus 8 is 11 over, this is actually a multiplication, but we're just going to do it as if it's a subtraction. 16 minus 3, which is 13. And that's our answer. So, alright guys, you guys have a worksheet that's attached in Google Classroom. You have about 6 problems to do. Again, if you want to do it on a separate sheet of paper, take a picture, post it to Google Classroom. That would be great. Any questions, reach out.